if my internet starts acting weird, Sonia and Sammy, can you text me?
Okay, I'm
Then I'll
happy
know to
to.
relocate in my.
If you give me permission to record, Sammy, I'll start recording on my end too. Although I think that once you transfer the host, doesn't the recording,
It gets goofy.
it
So
gets
have you
goofy?
transferred yet? Have you transferred
No,
host?
I want to start the Facebook before I transfer, is what we thought would be best. So, shall I start?
Yeah.
Oh, Lynn, do you play that beautiful piano behind you?
Not very often. I used
Oh, it
to.
is beautiful.
Thank you so
It is a
much.
beauty.
Yeah, I used to play a
You
little bit,
used
and
to?
I used
Mm.
to play by ear. I can't play. I can't really, I can't read sheet
I bet
music.
you are good. I bet you're good. I hear it's like riding a bicycle. You never forget.
Oh, you forget. I go to just try to get through the first few chords of Moonlight Sonata. I'm like, oh, just forget it. I
I,
can't I
that's
can't
one of,
remember.
that's
Yeah.
one of the three songs I learned to play. Moonlight,
Yeah.
Claire de Lune, and Largo from the New World Symphony. That was it for me.
Oh. And then you do
Oh,
forget. Like I forget. I can do the first few notes and then I'm like, darn it, I can't get it back.
And I
So
had to do All Good Boys Define.
uh-huh.
That's how I learned the
Oh
key
yeah.
to it.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot of work.
the
But then
proper way, I guess.
I went to college and couldn't play, so I lost it.
Hey, have you ever cross posted, Sonia? Or is that just asking for trouble?
Posting, posting
There's cross
to.
post to more pages. You can post it on more than one page. I'll just leave it where it is.
Oh, Russell said he's ready. Thank goodness.
That is good news. Okay, I'm waiting for the live video, so I'm like, all right, where's my live?
Okay.
I'm all right. I'm a little stymied here because I don't. Oh, maybe I need to go down here.
Let me go here.
Get started.
It's so weird. It says I'm recording, but I'm not. I never pushed record, so I know you're recording, right?
Sammy's recording.
But my record function key should not say that I'm recording, but
Only one person can record at a time.
is that what it is, Bob? Only
No,
one
really,
can
No,
because
record? Okay.
in class people record all the time, more than one person.
more people can record at one time.
Fine.
The hostess has to give permission to others to record.
Well, we'll see if it works.
All right. I don't know how to start this live video. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey Dan, how are
Good.
you?
I'm okay, thank you. Been out and about.
To
Pretty
see
day
you, Dan.
today.
Sonia, can you call me? Because I can't. I need to talk to you about this.
Okay, unless you want to make me host, Sammy, and I can
Then
try
you
to do the
okay?
live stream.
Can you get it to our composer? We need it on the Composer Cafe page.
Oh, you have a Composer Cafe page?
Yes.
I'm not a manager of your page, so I wouldn't be able to.
Oh, I can add you. I can make you a manager. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Okay, it just takes. I'll keep an eye out.
Actually, it says it must be. It says stop live stream, but so it must be going. It must be working. Does anybody? Let me look on my phone.
I'm looking, I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it usually appears on the top. You're live streaming, and I don't see that
It
message.
says it's prepping. It says it's
I'm
preparing.
checking the Composers Cafe Facebook, and I don't, is that on Facebook that you're going to stream it?
Yes, it says
Okay.
it says it's preparing right now. So it must be gonna go happen if it's preparing.
I'm going to add Sonia just in case.
Okay.
Did you want to, Sammy? The live stream that you're setting up right now, is it the one that you had pre-started a while ago?
I never started it.
Oh, okay, okay,
I just set it up.
Okay, because sometimes if you set it up too early, like it
It
delays.
just says, all it says is my choices right now are stop recording for my prep. No, that's for the recording. On the live, it still says it's preparing the live. I could stop it and then just start it again. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here I go. Live on Facebook.
Hey, Fia, honey.
Was that the worm song? Was that the worm song? The
Our
worms go in, the worms go out, in your stomach and out your mouth. Is that it?
no, no.
Hey, Marianne.
Hi.
Hey, Dion.
Welcome, you guys.
Hi, all. Bea, are you home?
Hello.
I'm home. I got home like at 1:30 this afternoon.
Oh my God.
Yay, Fia's
Yay.
home.
All right, I'm going to go live, you guys. I'm clicking on go live.
Okay, okay.
I just had to reset it up.
Okay, so now you want to make me host Sammy so I can.
Yeah,
I just got a notice.
it's live. Yeah, I just got one
Yep.
too. So it's going live. And I'll go back to Facebook. Okay, and I'll make you host now, and hopefully that will all. Oh, I've already made you host, and I was able to do Facebook Live too. Are you host now?
Not yet.
Okay, I don't. Oh, wait, here. Make host. All right. Or should I make you co-host? Am I gonna lose the Facebook and all that stuff?
You won't.
Okay, here goes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you, Sonia.
Thanks everybody for joining us too. So, are we ready to begin? What do you think, Lynn?
I think so. I think we're ready.
So, everybody, welcome to our 6th episode of Composers Cafe. My name is Sami Scot, and my co-host.
And I'm Lynn Colbert-Jones.
So we are the co-creators of this show on a mission to bring awareness and shine a spotlight on songwriters and with their creative processes, and I think that's what we hope to find out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And Sami, we don't want to forget about who.
Oh, our Facebook Live community. Welcome anybody who might be watching out there.
Absolutely. Today, we are going to feature this month's 3 composers, and we are thrilled to have Scot Urban, Sue Maskaleris, and Russell Hall. Each will be interviewed, followed by original songs or tunes performed live right here on Composers Cafe. Sami, you can take it away and introduce our first guest.
Scot Urban is from Chicago. Oh, will he be spotlighted too? Hi, Scot. There he is. Okay, good. I wanted you to be up in front and center with me. So, Scot, you're muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh, good, because we want to hear you.
Why?
Because we got questions that need answering. So, Scot, you've been a vocalist for a long time, right?
A long time. Over 50 years now.
Oh, my goodness. So, how did you begin writing music?
Hard to say. I was one of those people who started reading very young, and I was always fascinated with words. So my parents were both into wordplay. There were a lot of puns and word play in our house, so I just started doing it. And that's how I started my first writing, which was parodies. Just because I've always felt like I heard things differently than other people. One of the examples I always use is everyone when they're young always heard this song, just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down in the most delightful way. And what I heard was, just a loony mashugana is what Edison was called. Still we use his life today. And I just enjoyed doing it. Started writing songs. Actually, when I first went to college, I tried writing a musical. But it's very difficult because I neither read nor write music. So I end up singing the songs to myself, but nobody else ever heard them because I was the only one who could hear the melodies. Yeah.
So when you write your lyrics, are there melodies in your head already?
Sometimes. When I first started, there were always melodies in my head. But when I started working with Bob Sloan, and we did Love in the Middle Ages,
which is a musical you wrote.
I got to the point where I could hear them singing in a tone, but I never bothered with the melody because I knew Bob would put the melody to it. And it worked. Actually, I had done some of the early songs by myself, and it worked better later. He was an inspiration in a lot of ways because I wrote a song that never made it to the musical, but it was the best work Bob ever did. Because I wrote lyrics for two people that were almost impossible to follow, and he wrote the perfect melody for it.
So you never, I don't want to take up too much of Lynn's question time, but I have one more question because this is something I want. So does the melody that somebody else comes up with for your lyrics ever interfere with the idea that you had in your head?
Yes, and we had to go over that. Well, you and I are talking about that now with a song that I wrote that you wrote a beautiful melody to, but it doesn't fit with what I'm thinking because I thought country song with it and you didn't, and I'd kind of like to redo it. With Bob, there was a time he wrote something ballady that I just had almost a march time feel to and needed that to really speak what the character was speaking. So Bob changed it.
Because sometimes, yeah, you just got to get what you hear in your head. Lynn?
So you were talking about starting to write songs, and you started with the idea that you wanted to write a musical. Is that how it started? Where did the songwriting? I mean, that's a huge, ambitious goal.
Well, again, along with wordplay, I grew up on musicals. My parents played them around the house all the time, and I loved them. I grew in love with the theater when I was still in grammar school, and I could sing all the lyrics to all the show tunes, and I was still straight.
And how difficult has it been for you in your career as a lyricist with melodies in your head? You know, are the songs just stuck there, or are you finding your way through bringing those
sometimes, and I've done a few of my own songs where I've taken them to somebody, I've sung the songs to them, and they've written them out for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably the one that most of, well, Bob does for me, Dave Rice does for me, Sami's done for me, is a country song called Let's Do Love. And I actually wrote that song because somebody bet me I couldn't write a country song.
And you did it.
And I did it.
And what percentage of your songs are parody? Like I know you're a parody writer, but you don't. The songs I've heard are not parody songs. So.
No. Well, I've got one album of parody songs that I did with Mark Burnell. called "And the Parody Lingers On." I've done a couple of showcases on my parodies,
Wow.
and worked with Carla Gordon, and was joined by Pam Peterson, and I've now named, I think, the 3 best parodists in the Chicago area.
Very good. And I'm going to ask one more question before I turn it back over to Sami. It says in your bio, you're a songwriter, but then you've also got a human resources firm. How hard is it for you to, are they both loves, or is one a love and one is a means to an end? Or how does that work?
I was gonna say that.
I actually really enjoy recruiting. I like finding the right person for the right job.
Sure.
And finding both the company and the employee happy.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing that. It makes for a cultural fit, and I like when things just work together, like words and music.
Yeah.
Hand in glove, sock and shoe. So Scott, how much time would you say you devote to writing?
Not nearly enough.
Do you think it's?
I get inspired sometimes, and I will write for 3 days, and then I might not write another thing for 6 weeks. It's because it has been more of an avocation than a vocation. I didn't need to do it, sit down and do it every day. The only time I ever did that was when I was writing the musical, the one with Bob, because I had a timeline. I knew exactly what I wanted and when I wanted it done by, and I worked every day until what I needed to accomplish was accomplished.
Do you think you work better with a timeline or better when inspiration strikes?
I think some of my best things have come when inspiration started, but overall I work better with a timeline. When I'm actually forced to sit down and do it and then make sure that it's right.
Sure.
Because when you're writing a musical, you can't just write for yourself. And then I had to make sure the words were what I considered perfect, and I was never satisfied. And so I would redo them and redo them and redo them.
Oh,
I once read that writing is rewriting, and that's pretty much what I do with my lyrics until I was pretty much satisfied.
I was going to say, you did
today
get
I'll
the
still change the
satisfaction.
lyric on a song I wrote 10 years ago.
The show was great. I have to say, I've seen Love in the Middle Ages, and I thought it was fantastic.
I wish. Bob Salonis told us about that. Bob, who was featured on our very first episode of Composers Cafe, is who wrote Love in the Middle Ages with Scot Urban. And how many hours did it take you guys to do that, to write that?
I have no idea. It was an interesting thing. I'd done a show with a friend of mine, Wayne Richards, who used to play at the Barn in Barrington, played all over Chicago area. And Wayne had written the show, and he knew I was writing a show. So he did a show at the library in Schaumburg. And when he was finished, he called me. He said, they've just called me. They'd love to have another show. They just really enjoyed having a brand new musical. How about if we put your show up next year? I said, sure. And then I realized, oh shit, I got to write it now. So that was in January. I called Bob the next day. I said, I'd like you to work with me on this thing if you want to, but we're going to have the first complete draft of this done by June, which means we're going to have to be doing 2 to 3 songs a month and get them polished.
Wow.
And in order, and I've got to finish writing this thing by June. I actually said July 4th is my goal, and about 3 a.m. on July 3rd, I finished the first rough draft, the first one we used.
Wow. How many songs in total again?
Well, it came, the first time we did it, it had 16 songs in it.
Hmm.
Got to be more or less, we probably wrote 35 songs for the
Oh my
show
goodness.
over the period of time, because when we finished doing the first time, we worked with Libby Mages on doing readings for backers, and there were always comments and things they wanted changed. So we changed and we changed and we changed. And then when we produced it, the director, who is really quite good, but very young, but he had some ideas. And so we changed and we changed some more.
Wow. That's amazing. That's kind of interesting, though. You and Bob are doing the creative piece, and then the backers want to have input. How does that work?
Yeah.
Well, they got the money.
Yeah, but how does that? I mean, are they creative too?
No, not normally, but all of them were theater people. They knew what they'd seen. They knew what they liked. They knew what they thought would sell. They knew what they thought was good. So they would give ideas on things that were good. There were some things that we changed that I don't think we ever should have.
Wow.
But you live and you learn. At the time, we were working mostly hard at pleasing these people because we wanted to get the show up.
Sure. Sure.
So that kind of pressure didn't diminish your creativity.
I don't think so. I think Bob will tell you there were nights when they wanted to change and I'd hit with an idea and I would change 40 pages overnight.
Between writing the lyrics and writing the story, that had to be a brain fry.
Yeah. I have a question. Would you do it again?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've worked on a show with Gina Maslow, which we haven't quite finished, but COVID really got in the way because for us, it was easier when we got together in the same room to do things.
Sure.
We haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
And I have other ideas for shows. If I had the right collaborator, I would be happy to get out and do some more of that. I like the creative process. I like putting words in people's mouths. I think probably the proudest moments I've had when I finished Love in the Middle Ages is the number of women who came up and asked me who wrote the women's dialogue because they couldn't believe I did it.
That is so amazing.
It was great. It was just great.
I wish we could see it. I said that to Bob Salone a couple of months ago. I'm like, did you ever record? Did you ever record?
There is a video. It's not a great video, but there is a video of it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we'd love to see that someday.
Okay. We can probably arrange that.
I saw it at a theater, I think in Oak Park.
Wow.
Yes. The Village Players up in Oak Park at Madison and Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not too late for revival once the pandemic has gone away.
Well, we got clobbered a lot because it was 2008 when the show went up.
Yeah.
And I had a very big backer out of New York who was ready to put up all the money, but he was in the financial industry. And he saw the show in September of 2008 and loved it. And October, the crash hit.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So many things that are out of your control.
Sure. That's pretty tough. So what's on the horizon for you now? You're going to work on this next project or continue to write
I'm working on the next project. I'm thinking about doing some others. Again, I know I'm not going to try anything without a collaborator.
Sure.
And it just depends on who's got time and willingness and wants to put in the time, because it is hard, long hours to do it.
Sure.
Especially when you've got a full-time job along with it. I mean, Bob was playing 5 nights a week, and I know he was writing 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I think that it is time for us to hear some of your original music. And are you doing both of those tunes with Sami?
I'm doing one of them. Sammy's doing the other. Sammy and I wrote one of them together. In fact, I'd be more than willing to let her start. Sammy and I came together later on. It's only been maybe 10 years now since we've known each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only 10 years.
I mean,
I've known Bob since 1972.
Oh my goodness gracious! You were only 3 then, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Scott when I saw the play. I knew Bob, so I'd gone. But I mean, I knew of Scott, but we hadn't really met.
That's
So,
wonderful.
I started coming in. I always came into Sabatino's. Sabatino's where Sammy ended up playing for a few years. I actually took my first date there in high school. I was there 2 owners before the people who owned the place when Sammy worked there.
Unbelievable.
So I went in and we started talking, and we had just a great time.
That's fun.
And I think we fell in love with each other's music. I love some of Sammy's compositions.
Oh my gosh, she's extraordinary.
I've always liked the way she sings, and her personality projects.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so one day I finally asked her, I said, "What would you think about writing a song with me?" And she said, "I'd love it." And I've always wanted to do a Christmas song. And this kind of reflects my thinking on every song I write is a story.
Yeah.
Because I worked for years. I used to go see a man named Buddy Charles, who was the best entertainer I've ever seen in my life. And I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of entertainers. And Buddy changed my thoughts about music when we talked, because he said, if you don't tell a story, you're not doing your job when you sing. And so every song I sing has got to have a story now. And every song I write has got to have a story.
That's so lovely.
So this Christmas song kind of reflects my belief that everybody's view of Christmas is worthwhile. So it starts out with kids and it becomes more serious as the song goes on. And that's why I wrote it the way I did.
And you guys finished that this past year, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Scott sent me the lyrics, and it actually took a while because there was a lot of words. And
I am wordy.
And then we went out of town for 4 days, and I didn't play music. And I came home, and the first thing I did was wrote the song. It's like I just needed a little space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some clarity. I'm going to ask Scott one more question before you play your song. Do you have anything in your career that you would have wanted to do differently?
If I'd had the chance over again, my parents tried to get me to learn piano when I was young, and I would have learned to play piano, so I could have been doing more of this earlier.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's never too late, Scott.
It's never too late.
At my age, I have a hard enough time getting both hands to do one thing.
During quarantine, so many new piano players have popped up, and guitar players, and it's been, people are using their time. And
well, why don't you tell us about the song that you and Sami are about to do together, and you guys can take it away.
Well, this is that song. It's a Christmas song that we wrote. First song we wrote together.
Yes, it is. Okay. Perfect. When the calendar reaches December, the closing of each year, I look back and I remember the beliefs I hold most dear. I believe beneath the North Pole sky that elves work hard all year. I believe a sleigh can fly when it's pulled by 8 reindeer. I believe that Santa Claus can make a child's dream come true. I believe in Christmas. Don't you? I believe that doing the right thing makes you feel worthwhile. I believe when carolers sing, it will always make you smile. When you hear a church bell ring, it can warm you through and through. I believe in Christmas. Don't you? There are those who doubt the Yuletide's magic. Just another season on the chart. I maintain the way they think is tragic. If you don't love and you don't give, you'll find you never really lived. Open up your heart, start caring. You'll find you'll just gain by sharing more. I know spreading joy and mirth should be done in vast amounts. Every single soul is worth, every single person counts. Having peace and earth and joy should go right through the whole year too. I believe in Christmas. Do you?
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow, that was gorgeous.
Very beautiful.
Very gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Oh, that's not my mic.
Wow, that was beautiful, Scott and Sammy. Scott, are you ready to do your second song?
Okay. This is a song I worked for years. I knew a man named Harry Kovacs who used to play piano in the area. And Harry would play these lovely little tunes when he couldn't think of anything else to play. And I came to find out he wrote them. And so I did a number of songs with his stuff, including one called I Never Thought I'd Fall in Love, which became the song that I first sang to my wife after we got married and on our 5th and 10th anniversary. And as I always say, I wrote the song for her. I just didn't know her at the time. And got lucky enough to meet her later. This particular song was fun for me because Harry insisted that nobody could possibly write words to this music. It was just something he doodled in between. And I thought, I can write words to that. I like that. And as I'm listening to it, the thought came to me that I guess whether or not you can make words of this all depends on your perspective, which became the title of the song. And so, Sammy, whenever you want to start, we can try this.
Okay.
In a world that judges men by their treasure, I'm the first to admit I don't measure up well. But although I know I'll never have a fortune gold, I'm richer by far than I see. Some may think my life has been wasted. My perspective is that I've tasted well. 'Cause I've lived and I've laughed and I've learned and I've loved. And I've always known how to dream. And I've traveled far, seen the wonders of the world. And wherever I land, I'm always glad I'm there. I've reached upon the star with a very special girl. I've got humor and health, and I think that's wealth beyond compare. If the truth is known, if I own it, I have never really wanted to be grown up at all, because I think the world is more exciting by far when seeing the eyes of a child. Because every day is a brand new start, to have an adventure or find a new romance. So if I should play or give away my heart, if things don't work out, tomorrow there'll be another chance. In a world that judges men by their treasure, I'm the first to admit I don't measure up well. But although I know I'll never have a fortune in gold, I am richer by far than I seem.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
So gorgeous. Oh, that was beautiful. And Scott, who did you write that one with?
His name was Harry Kovacs. He was an older man, used to play piano around town, and we became really, really good friends. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
we had about 10 songs we did together before.
Amazing.
It was fun, and it was different because with Harry, I wrote words to his music. Sami and Bob have both written music to my words.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of perspective of where you start.
And it every single way works, doesn't it?
It does, if you know what story you want to tell them, tell it.
That's
And work
so
with the right people.
beautiful.
I think that's the big part is like, what is the story about? Yes, and where are you going with it?
Yeah,
Truly, Scott, you are a great, great lyricist.
absolutely. And that Christmas tune just gave us another Christmas carol to adore. Beautiful, Scott and Sami. Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you participating.
My
in
pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yes, it was great, Scott.
Absolutely. Everybody, please give him a hand. Scott Urban. Very good.
Scott, it's David. All our lives are musically richer and personally richer because of you.
Oh, that's very sweet, David. Thank you. Love you and Johnny.
Thank you. Please be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott. So we
Love you,
will.
Scotter.
Love you, Bill. How you feel?
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, what are you doing out in the car?
We're sending lots of love.
I'm not driving.
You're not
Thanks,
driving. That's
everybody.
good.
No.
We love you, Bill Demis.
Thank you, dear.
Yes, we do.
Scott, could I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is it true that you wrote the music to Ramesses, the story of Moses? I believe it was called King of Kings.
No, not true. I was one of the star actors in that production, yes. Many hundreds of years ago.
This is John Davison. I was with you in that show.
Yes, I know you were, John.
You've got a lot of support out here, Scott.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen John in probably 40 years.
Ah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, what a great reunion. All right, we are going to move to the next portion of our show, and I would like to introduce to you Sue Maskaleris. Sue Maskaleris is out of New Jersey. She's an award-winning singer, songwriter, composer, producer, arranger, pianist extraordinaire. And we are so happy to have you here. Welcome, Sue Maskaleris.
Thanks for having me and
Hi,
for
Sue.
making this. Hi. I love that material, both of you. It was wonderful.
It's gorgeous, right?
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Let's start your portion of the interview, Sue. You just completed your second CD.
It's actually my fourth.
It's your fourth. Oh my gosh.
If you count this weird little thing I did for a gig in Ireland where I did Irish songs and played all the instruments on it. But
Okay, so see, you didn't put that in my text. So it's your fourth CD.
Sort of.
It's your fourth CD.
Third or fourth. Yeah.
But you just introduced that to the public when?
Well, the official release date was January 15th, but I was kind of sneaking it out in December.
Sure.
Trying to get publicity rolling for this funny Valentine's song, which I was hoping to do here, but I figured it was too late, so I didn't prepare that.
Never too late for a love song, though.
Right. I was going to say, we just had a Christmas song. I think you could sneak in Valentine's Day if you wanted.
I know. It just... First of all, let me just show you the new CD is, I don't know, lighting is a little bad here.
Hold it up a little closer. The other, there you go. Beautiful.
This luscious 14-page booklet and with the lyrics. And I just thought I would run some of these Valentine's lyrics by you because I write the lyrics and the music. So, I got a double date with Ben and Jerry this Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll try their chubby hubby since mine went away. I'll say, Alexa, play for me some jazz, but no Kenny G. And later on, there's a lot of musical quotes and jokes in there. And my favorite one is in the end. I mean, this really goes out to single people. And maybe some of you are watching. Let's see. Okay, Cupid, let's see who you've got. That's a dating site. Biker Dan, shall we give it a shot? All the lonely people, trolling all the sites, single friends on Facebook, messaging through the night. Here's my line. Love me Tinder, love me true. One more swipe to find my boo. Love me Tinder. Love me sweet. Who's going to swipe me off my feet?
That is so clever.
I love that.
I have to say, I spent the whole hour before meeting Sue, just listening, running through all of her songs. They're all so amazing and incredible lyricist and musician. And I was just wondering, on your albums, do you play all the instruments or
on the Irish one, but on this one, just mainly piano and vocals and keyboards. But on some other ones, I play violin and even a little bass and electric violin.
It's amazing what you're able to do. Sue and I met in the Zoom community during the pandemic, and we are part of some of the same music rooms, and just sort of developed a rapport and a relationship, and we text each other and chat each other and include each other in groups and all of that. But one of the things that fascinates me about you, hearing you on some of these other rooms is that you often take instrumentals,
Yeah.
write your own lyrics. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I've followed those with you for months.
What, instrumentals from other people?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do that. And I usually, a friend will write a song that I really love, and I'll approach them and ask them, if they'd like lyrics. I've done that with, I would say maybe 15 people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so nice because you do a really nice job with them. I want to ask you, you won second place in the worldwide Thelonious Monk composition competition. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, nobody bothered to tell me. And there's a couple of second place winners who went on to be household names, like, in jazz, Jane Monheit and Terry, what's her name? I'm forgetting her name. She passed away.
I love Jane Monheit.
Yeah, and even Veronica Swift. But I happened to run into one of the judges, and they told me a long time later that I had, come in second. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think they've now named it, the Herbie Hancock something or other.
Competition, sure.
I mean,
Sure.
every year they would change what instrument they were focusing on. Voice,
Wow.
composition, whatever.
Can you tell us how you started writing? And then, Sami, I'll turn it right over to you. But just can you go back to the origins of your...
Origin is my playpen, where I wrote the witty little number. News Sunday go 555. Who knows what that means? It sounds like it's in Dutch. But that was my first opus, and followed by something in second grade for my teacher, who I adored. And I just took to writing early on. I was taking piano when I was 4, and then introduced the violin around 7 or 8, and never conquered that beast pitch-wise because it's impossible to play it in tune. So it's a labor of love, but it's, I always say it hurts me more than it hurts you.
Amazing. Sami?
Do you like, I have so many questions for you, for one, and I'm like going to be sad I can't get them all in. But one of them is about, you speak how many languages? And
I don't speak.
And how do you write in foreign language?
I don't really. I mean, I've traveled the world. I've been very fortunate. I fell into doing ships at a young age. And I just wound up, learning a lot of songs and studying languages on my own. I had a couple in school. But Portuguese is my love, and Brazilian music. So I guess I've written a little bit in Portuguese, but I always have to have a native, fix it up.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wrote it down, one of the songs I was going to ask you what the name, and I don't know what piece of paper it's on. Oh, darn. Okay, we'll have to skip that question. Another question is, your arrangements for your songs are incredible.
Thank you.
And is that another gift of yours?
Oh, thank you. Well, I studied arranging with the great Don Sebesky, who was big on CTI Records, his jazz label, and he also wrote the scores. I mean, he arranged, what was that one with Lilius White? A lot of Broadway shows. And he's very, very old now. His son was in my first fusion band. But arranging per se on my CDs is different. I'm like a painter that keeps adding stuff. And my first 2 CDs, I got so carried away. I would have do the basic tracks in a studio. And then I would spend, I guess, 14 years on this one, adding tracks at home. 14 years, folks.
14 years.
There was an 8 year gap where I halted all work on it. And this other one, the second official one, Bring Nothing But Your Heart, that was about 10 years. So with this one, I wanted to really rush it. I wanted my dad to be able to hear it, who's 93. So I broke all my records and I did it in about 2 years.
Broke all your records. And where can we find all of your music? Where is it available?
I have a new website, Suemask, Suemask. I guess I can write it here, or somebody can. .com, and it takes you to Bandcamp, where you can buy the CDs, and that would be wonderful. And you can, of course, hear a lot of the cuts in full now. Used to be just a few seconds on CD Baby, but now you can hear the whole song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you feel do you get your inspiration from community, or are you self-motivated to just sit home and work?
Well, I'll tell you, the muse has been in grand hiatus during this pandemic, so not writing so much. I'm forcing myself to, but in general, I write about my life, and I love deadlines, like Mr. Urban was saying. It can really help, but I rarely have a situation where somebody needs a song. So I have also dabbled in more of the musical theater lyrics that you guys write in as well. But, nothing's been put out there.
Sami, any more questions?
Oh, let's see. I want to find what the name of that. Well, I know on that last CD I'd asked. Oh, March of the Refugees. So what language was that in?
Okay, that was Portuguese, and my good friend Luis Simas, he's a great musician and composer and lyricist, and I started writing lyrics for him. He started writing them for me, and as a court reporter by day, it took him a year to write this lyric. It's many verses long, and so he works for a lot of refugees, and so it's a very sad, it's a very touching lyric about immigration. And I made a video. A lot of these songs have videos on my YouTube channel under my full name. And so I wrote the English chorus to that. Let me just see where that is. Here's Luis. I don't know if you can see anything here.
Move it over to your, there you go.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah, we can see
He's
that.
making a very funny face. But,
oh, my goodness.
And so I wrote the choruses, which are, where is that? Send me somebody to feed me, someone to comfort and lead me, from neath the rubble of blue night to whatever will become my new life. Someone to silence my demons, tackle me down when I'm screaming. Come on, I'm down to the wire, 'cause my situation is dire.
Oh.
It's a great song.
Stay on that for a second. You said he's a lyricist and you're a lyricist.
And he's a composer.
And he's a composer. So how do you, I mean, normally there's a lyricist and a musician. So how do you guys marry that? How does that relationship work with both of you?
It varies. I mean, I wrote lyrics to about 5 of his songs that he just improvised on one of his many CDs, full-fledged. He improvises these perfect compositions. And in this case, I wanted Portuguese written. So he came up with the whole concept on his own. And, I waited patiently for a year, like, how's it going?
Well, he's court reporting.
Yeah. Translating, rather.
Wow.
Or translator. That's what I meant. So.
Let me ask you about your the latest album. I understand it debuted at #1 most added on NACC radio.
That means, which I got very excited, it was the most added record that week on this chart, which is for college stations and some NPR stations and community radio.
Nice.
College stations are the best. I mean, that's where all your when music really means the most to young people. Yeah.
But there's also a chart called Jazz Week, which I'm about to finally get on, even though I debuted on #11 there. That's just the most added chart, the #11. So there's another one called Roots Music Review, and they published a review today. And there's been many reviews, but I find that the writers of a lot of these blogs are just copying the liner notes, which I wrote myself. So I'm basically writing very good.
I was going to say, that works for you, doesn't it? That's wonderful.
Well, who can say it better but yourself?
That's what I told this one guy that played me today out here. And he was appalled, and he thought it was disgraceful that I would do such a thing. But I mean, I didn't want to hire somebody, you know, when you spend so much money on the production and physical production of it, you know, it's just hard.
Yeah. Sami, we've got time for a couple of additional questions. I know you had.
I think I might have got my main ones in. Oh my gosh, yes. As a piano player and not a composer, you played for Annie Ross and Abby Lincoln. And I was like, I love both of them. How is that?
Well, I nominated Annie for a International Women in Jazz Award at this beloved jazz church in Manhattan called St. Peter's, which has had a terrible, terrible water main break. It's a historic place. And that was a joy. I got to play Twisted with her, but she had actually been a friend of a friend and used to come to my gigs. And I was always shocked that she'd show up in the 80s to hear me, different jazz clubs. And with Abby, that was another thing where what was it called? UJC. I don't know, Kobe Narita's Jazz Coalition gave all these concerts, and so she had me play a song for her. So
I can't wait to hear you play live. I mean, hearing you on your seat, hearing your music on YouTube, I was just blown away.
Oh, thanks. So you want me to move to the keyboard?
I think it's time.
All right.
Can't wait.
I'm going to turn on a few things. Get some Wawa.
Oh, before you walk away, can you move that chair?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I did want to say the first song I wrote a long time ago. There was a major blizzard in Manhattan, and it's in my songbook, Pieces of Heaven, challenging songs for the jazz singer.
You have a songbook?
Yeah.
Like for purchase?
Yes, I do.
That is so cool.
Doesn't she do the coolest things? I mean, seriously, even with her CD, the time that she took to do the book with all the lyrics and all these other things that she wrote, I just thought was beautiful.
That graphic guy was working like a dog for 3 weeks. But anyway, so this is initially this song is about digging out of a blizzard, but I think metaphorically I chose it today as, you know, stepping out when this whole crisis is over, and what will the world look like. So it's called Until the Daffodils. And let's see. Okay. And also I'd like to say that the harmony's kind of influenced by the great Chick Corea, who we just lost. So just imagine some drums and Chick playing instead of me. After the clouds have run out of snow, silence is suddenly heard. Slowly the world resumes with a sigh, traffic, a laugh, a bird. Spring is a dream you keep in your heart, warming the dark, long chill. Spring is a thing asleep in your heart until the daffodils push through the earth and reach through the sky, right where the snow had been, filling the fields with ripples of gold, shimmering in the wind. Fill up your heart with beauty like this during the dark, long chill. Let in the spring, you don't have to wait until the After the daffodils, until the daffodils, until the daffodils, until the daffodils, until the daffodils push through the earth and reach for the sky. Push through the earth and reach for the sky. Push through the earth and reach for the sky.
That was amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
Have to move one
So-
thing over here.
Wonderful.
So, Sue, I can see why you were discovered by McCoy Tyner. How did that happen?
I was playing at the Helmsley Hotel in Manhattan, and he was checking out my playing and sitting next to me, and I stupidly, I glanced over and I thought, who is this and why is he staring at me? And I said, I thought he was B.B. King, which is so embarrassing. But yes, he was a great fan, and it was amazing. I did write lyrics to one of his tunes as well. It's on YouTube. It's Three Flowers. It's in the real book.
Oh.
So I wanted to premiere a brand new song that was inspired by the great Antonio Carlos Jobim, because his birthday was at the end of January. And I guess the day after I wrote this, and the music came to me in no less than 5 minutes. It's kind of wrote itself. And then a few weeks later, I wrote the lyrics, and then I finally added this little instrumental line. So I'm going to do that last now, and still looking for a title. Wish that you would tell me that you love me. Wish that you would tell me that you love me, but you never will. So am I imagining instead that maybe you do still? You're always calling me, you're always texting me all day. So what else could it be? Maybe you're lonely like me. I think it's time that you see. You stole my heart, ravaged my soul. I need them back so I can be whole. I can't fall in love with you. I can't fall in love with you again. You made me suffer so bad. But if you would tell me you still love me, I would be so glad.
me what you never will. So am I imagining instead that maybe you do still? You're always calling me, you're always texting me all day. So what am I to do? Maybe you're lonely like me, it's time you see. You stole my heart, ravaged my soul. I need them back so I can be whole. I can't fall in love with you, I can't fall in love with you again. You made me suffer so bad. But if you would tell me you still love me, I would be so glad. Wish that you would tell me you still love me, I would be so glad. Come on and please tell me you still love me, I would be so glad.
That was fun.
Wow, loved it, Sue. Wow.
Wonderful, Sue.
Yeah, Sue. It's actually more of a Chorino style than a bossa.
I
Love that music.
Yeah, and I could hear the similarity to Joe Beam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. The inspiration.
Thank you.
Sue, where did you study?
Stolen directly. I went to Manhattan School of Music.
Ah.
For composition.
Nice.
I studied with this great composer, John Corigliano Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's written giant film scores for Alien and The Red Violin and symphonic works. Yeah, he's a heavyweight.
No,
but you were
nobody
right.
knows that. Nobody knows that movie. I ask everybody about The Red Violin because I saw that some years ago, and people say I don't know what that is, but I did see that movie. Fantastic.
His father was the concertmaster of the New York Philharmonic, so he has a passion for violin like I do.
Beautiful. So would you say that your words influence your melody or your melody influences your words?
In the case of the last song, it took me like a week to decide to write a lyric because I was waiting for Luis to write it in Portuguese, but he's too swamped. So, and he's not going to translate my words. He's going to write something new if he ever gets around to it. But yeah, it depends. Every song is totally different.
Well, it's so nice to have all of those tools at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You have your voice. You can play. You can hear bass lines. You can hear violin parts. It's I think. And then besides speaking all those languages, you speak all the musical languages too. It's just shows in your playing. It's so.
I mean, I'm dealing with a no pedal on this keyboard.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And I wanted to use my real piano, but then I wouldn't be able to see you, so kind of not ideal. But
Wow, this is amazing, Sue. Thank you so much for everything. I am so glad that you joined us today and that you were willing to participate in this month's episode of Composers Cafe. You were wonderful as usual.
I will be following you everywhere.
Absolutely. And anybody can buy her CDs on
Thank you.
Is it CD Baby?
On my website, SueMask.com.
Sue Mask, not your whole name, but SueMask.com. MASK.
It's in the chat box right now. It's in the chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia.
Oh, we did put a little tip screen up there. Just because we are musicians and we are out of work and we are here supporting these special people today. There's Sue's right there, her PayPal. And Scott Urban, he has decided to send his money to Save Our Stages, which I think everybody knows about. It's for all the venues that are having trouble. So that's really lovely, Scott. Thank you.
Which is wonderful. Thank you so much, Sue. Everybody, please unmute and give her a big hand for being here. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on all your successes.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Nice to see you.
So we have our next featured composer, who I believe has just arrived, and that is Russell Hall. Let's see if we can get Russell. Russell, there you are.
Oh, he's adorable in person too.
Hi, Russell.
How's it going?
Good, hon. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Wow, I am so for everybody that doesn't know, Russell was free and open for today's episode, and then he calls and says, "Oh my gosh, I have to be at Jazz at the Lincoln Center today on the same day." I'm like, "What?"
It was
What an honor.
I hope it was an inside gig and not outside.
Oh no, it was just like a pre-concert. We pre-recorded something, and then they wanted us to talk about the music and stuff. So
I love that. I love that. Well, welcome. I'm so glad that you could make it. I would like for everybody to meet Russell Hall from New York City. He's an award-winning double bassist from Kingston, Jamaica. Right? Kingston, Jamaica.
Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Russell Hall.
Well, I mean, you pretty much gave him most of it, but I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. Moved to Miami, Florida, South Florida, when I was about 13 years old. I met the sons of the drummer from the Commodores, Walter Orange, and that's how I kind of got my start into, Afro-American and Black music and loving music and learning how to play electric bass. Flash forward, I picked up the upright bass in high school, and from there got to meet a lot of jazz greats such as Wynton Marsalis, John Clayton, and Ron Carter, and the list goes on and on. Branford Marsalis, and now I've been living in New York. I graduated from the Juilliard School about 5 years ago almost. So I've gotten to study with some of the greatest in the world and gotten to play with some of the greatest in the world, and it's just a real honor to be here on this show sharing some of my music. I'm not exactly sure how much time I have, or like.
Oh, you've got you literally, each artist has 40 minutes. So
40 minutes. That's so much time.
So you're good.
Well, I think
that is wonderful.
Thank you so much, and this is so beautiful. I just want to tell you, what you have here is such a gem and so special, because the pandemic.
Thank you for making it special.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's guests like you that make this show happen.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
I was listening to you played with so many people. I was kept pulling up videos of you playing and listening to you play, and I'm sorry, I don't think I ever got to some of your original stuff, but you have so many combinations of trios, and you've played with such great people, and I love your style and I love your voice.
Oh, thank you. I'll actually be mostly playing piano because I composed all this music from the piano, and I want you to be able to hear all the parts and stuff like that.
Can't wait.
And I'll be singing some. But thank you. I have an album out, and I'll be playing the suite of music that I wrote called The Feeling of Romance. And I'll kind of do an abridged version just for the sake of time.
What's the name of your album?
The Feeling of Romance.
That's the name of the whole album?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do have time. Like I said, you have 40 minutes. We're
no
not even
rush.
into the first 10. So take your time and do what you want. Russell and I met about 8 months ago, and I actually was communicating back and forth with another wonderful musician by the name of Emmett Cohen, and Emmett and I were going back and forth, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to write something together. And he says, oh my gosh, this is a terrible time for me. He's like, but I want you to talk to my buddy Russell. You and him can write songs together. So we started talking about collaborating, and that's how this relationship started 8 months ago. And here we are today with him being featured on Composers Cafe.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't wait till the moment that we can actually start to write together.
Get it done.
Put our heads together and make one. So what I'll be playing is 2 pieces of music. One that is my album that was recorded called The Feeling of Romance. Just, collection of songs in narrative of 2 lovers that grow apart and come back together, little love affair. And then the next piece is something that I've been working on for the past. Do I need more volume?
Yep, I just saw Drew just put that in the chat.
Okay.
And I was going to say, if you can put your camera down just a little so that we can see more of you. There you go.
Oh, nice.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
That looks good.
Can you hear me? Am I more audible now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Play your piano, and then we'll check with your voice, too. Make sure.
Sing something real quick so we can hear your voice against the piano.
Okay. At first I thought that life was easy, like climbing up the scale.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's good, right? Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a little foreshadowing.
I know by watching all those videos you play in many, many, many styles.
Oh yeah, I love all music. I try to be as holistic as possible.
And so I take it your own creations probably reflect that as well. Or do you have a particular style you are fond of?
I just like to write music from a place of love. I don't really focus. The style kind of comes after, and I try to write in a style that allows for a different groove over a different section. Sometimes we may go into hard 4/4 swing. Sometimes we may play a reggae. Sometimes we may play it as a klezmer. Sometimes, so we may play. So I try to make it as malleable as possible, but melodies that are pure and true.
So you're a melody guy.
I'm a melody and vibrations.
Yeah, so if somebody can, that's awesome. Cool.
Do you want to play first, or you want to interview some? Yeah, because we have time for both. What do you feel comfortable with?
Let's do the interview first, and then that way I could get all the butterflies and stuff. And
Okay. No, you don't have butterflies. I know you don't have. You're live in front of 1,000 people every Monday.
Yeah, but
How do you have butterflies?
Yeah, but I want to make it nice, so in wanting to make it nice, I have to first commune with you and talk with you and give you thanks for having this program.
That's so sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. Tell us a little bit about the Rainbow Kids mission.
Oh man. Well, before COVID, we were playing about 3 gigs a week in New York, whether it was at Jazz at Lincoln Center or at dive bars in the Lower East Side and wreaking havoc. We were just militant about playing, and then pandemic hit. Being able to play with that big of a group started to dwindle, and then the tragic events of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor kind of charged everyone up, and I teamed up with a couple promoters and curators, Bryce Rosenblum, a bunch of people in New York, that helped to create this arts coalition called the Blacksmiths. And we were out in the street protesting for social justice and bringing music to the people that have been deprived over the pandemic. So now I'm in the process of working on the Bessie and the Rainbow Kids album and releasing that. And part of the music that I'll be playing in the second half of these compositions is reflective of some of those songs and some of those themes. Themes of, being eco-friendly, being, good to your fellow man, religious freedom and expression, without oppression.
Sure.
Yeah.
And with this organization, how many of them are going to participate and play or sing with you, or any, or how does that work?
Well, right now, as I've been working on the album, it's looking like it's going to be, anywhere between 18 and 30 musicians collectively.
goodness.
But
Yeah.
maybe not all at the same time. So, you know, the songs are kind of, they go between, you know, you have something that's R&B, you have something that's New Orleans, you have something that's reggae. So because of that, I try to interweave all the different musicians that, you know, play to their strengths, so to speak.
Sure.
So it's different all the time? It's different members, or do you have regular members that you go back to?
I have regular members, but I'm also part of a larger New York music community. So, you know, that helps to navigate between the different people, and, you know, and then there are people that have just been in Rainbow Kids from the very beginning of its inception, you know, and people that I grew up playing with, and we're also I play in their band, they play my band. We're just a giant band.
The Chicago scene, I think, might be like that. I'm not kind of in that grouping, but I might, because I'm old, for one thing. But have you do you tour a lot with this band?
I have not really toured with this band, but I have toured with iterations of this band before, you know, before it really solidified itself as this is the music I'm writing. You know, it's like Jerry Garcia meets, you know, Parliament Funkadelic with splashes of Thelonious Monk. You know, it's like before that kind of really took its own conception. It was really just like people that I was playing with in another band called The Shakes, and that is like is like the kind of the predecessor to what my band became, you know. And we went to St. Lucia for like 2 weeks, and we ransacked the Caribbean. We played on a pirate ship, did all kind of stuff. You know, we've you know, been the band for Wynton Marsalis and the All Stars, and I curated a show with Wynton in Marciac for about 15,000 people. And, you know, so this band has always been evolving. We've presented a kind of a family style, you know, concert of Thelonious Monk's music called Monk's Dream, and Barry Harris was a part of that. Jeff Tain Watts was a part of that. People like Joel Ross, who's an up and coming superstar in jazz, and so many others. But through that, I was, you know, that was one iteration. Now Bessie and the Rainbow Kids is a very specific thing, where like I'm writing music specifically for this that have magical, real, you know, elements and aesthetics and, you know, style and imagery, but then also socially conscious, you know, messaging layered within, heavily influenced by Bob Marley, heavily influenced by Marvin Gaye, and the great soul singers Aretha Franklin, you know, James Brown, so Stevie Wonder.
So
It's amazing.
Exciting to hear. I can't wait to hear the mix and the blend of all of that.
Oh, man.
Wow. And tell us about the Blacksmiths.
So the Blacksmiths is an organization that myself and Michaela Marino Lerman, the tap dancer, we kind of got together and we said, okay, you know, we need to do something. We need to show Harlem and New York that we're upset, but make it a celebration. So we teamed up with Bryce Rosenblum, who is the director of the Winter Jazz Fest and the Jazz Coalition of America, and Naima Sandy, who is a very prolific curator and arts council in New York, and some other people too, Gail Boyd, Michelle Taylor, these kind of pillars of the New York music network. And we teamed up and we started presenting shows, you know, in the street. We had a Juneteenth Jubilee that took place in Harlem that basically I rented out a flatbed truck all the way like 2 hours in Long Island. We brought it out. We teamed up with the Intersectional Voices, who is a Black trans group, and the Wide Awakes, who is like another larger social justice group and arts curatorial kind of organization. And and we just had a big party in Harlem and took over Harlem for the day. And
amazing.
So, you know, from there, we've done things for Eric Garner's birthday, and Eric Garner's mom spoke at the Barclays Center. We've teamed up with the Wide Awakes and took over, you know, Freedom Hall downtown with Mocha Jumbies, you know, stilt walkers from Trinidad. And we just curated, you know, another splinter of the Blacksmiths was Joy to the Polls. And that was to encourage people to vote and encourage people to be voter, you know, voter conscious and you know, set up posts out there in the rain playing for people that were going to go vote. So we've done a lot of stuff since the summer, since Juneteenth of last year.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And the whole mission is to bring peace to all ears and love to all hearts.
I love that. That's great.
I love that. Yeah, I just thought that was beautiful. Sami, do you have any other questions for Russell?
No, I can't think of one right now.
So Russell, tell us what does your typical week look like? I know what you do on Mondays because I'm with you guys on Mondays.
I work on Monday nights, but I want to. I'm sad. I'm missing.
It's all
out on
recorded.
it.
Yeah, it's all recorded. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out.
What do you do? What's your week look like?
Oh well, it varies. You know, as a freelancer in COVID, you know, one day you'll be playing a tango gig at the Triad Theater. The next day you're in a recording session with, you know, a seasoned Broadway singer playing the music of Sarah Vaughan. Then the next day you rest. Then, you know, so it really varies.
You're very broad in your scope of interests and abilities. So you're lucky you're able to stay busy in COVID, right?
I'm eternally blessed. I don't know. I have a lucky star in my head because, and I even separate from that, I'm blessed that people that play music are genuinely kind-hearted people, and they want to create with you. You know, they want you to be a part of their story, and I want them to be a part of mine. So that has helped me throughout the course of this thing.
A good attitude.
What are your next projects? What are you working on right now?
Well, I'm getting ready to release a music video of some of this first piece that I'm about to play. And then I'm also releasing a single that's coming out that's called Feels Like Magic. And it's R&B, you know, slow jam. And I'm getting ready to release that, and I'm gonna try and promote it, you know, really, really well. I'm gonna try and get a lot of funding and a lot of help behind it, and try and get it on the radio past just jazz radio. And I'm just trying to focus my energy on that. And in addition to that, I'm also working on a larger piece that I've been working out for years, and it's part of the Bessie and the Rainbow Kids concept. And part of that is, you know, bringing light to something that is a passion of mine outside of music, which is, you know, animals and fauna of all shapes and sizes, and being conscious of, you know, life beyond ours. You know,
absolutely,
all sentient beings.
So, what a good heart.
I'm just trying to do the best I can. It's hard, but it's, you know, we got to do the best we can. So
yeah. Well, I'm sure that you're making the world a better place, and so we would love to just follow you and see where this road takes you. It's going to be pretty fascinating. And yeah, well, I think we can get started with some music.
No, I can't wait.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. If at any point you can't hear my voice or you can't hear the piano, if it sounds weird, just, you know, say something, and
I'll do like this, Russell.
Yeah, that's
okay. No problem.
thought that life was easy, like climbing up the scale. Then you came along with a plan I was sure to fail. So what good is romance now? I'm trapped in your love and I don't know how to get out. To see another day, open my mouth and say, I love I fell in love with someone. I'm not sure if they love me, but I know that they hope that they will, but still I must compose sentimental tunes, risk it all and lose my cool. But I know that they hope that they will. It's the feeling I know all too well that's from heaven, but also from hell. But I know that it must be from heaven, or so I hope. What are these unknown intentions? And with misdirection made part of the game. But with no one to blame, I'm still in love with someone new, but I'm not sure if they could love me too. But I know that they hope to love me too. And if not, that's okay, 'cause I love you. That song was called The Hope.
Oh, I love that, Russell. That was beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
That's gorgeous.
Goodness,
Beautiful.
that was just
Oh my
That
God.
is beautiful.
heartwarming. It was just
Wow.
heartwarming.
So is that it's kind of written in an old classic jazz
Oh,
standard style with,
yes.
and would you call that beginning a verse or an intro?
That's a verse. That's a verse.
And what's the difference, Mr. Juilliard? What is the difference between a verse and an intro?
Well, an intro would be like, intro is usually between 4 and 8 bars, and it doesn't really offer a melody per se. You may call this a vamp. You may call this an introduction, but it usually doesn't foreshadow. It usually is a foreshadow as opposed to like actual thematic material.
Thank you for that, because that's like a question that's been burning in my mind for years.
Sammy, you just helped all of us. That was a great question.
Well, when
What
you
a
did
great
that, I'm like,
question.
I'm going to ask what that is.
Oh my gosh,
But that's excellent. It was so beautiful. Yeah.
and
so
how
beautiful.
moving. He was able to move the entire room. Everybody was putting notes in the chat, and just you took us there.
Oh,
and I think Fia put in the chat, you're showing us your heart. Like, you really feel that, right?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna
That
play
was-
some more songs from that piece. That's the first piece that I wrote from that suite.
Okay.
This next
All right.
one I'm gonna play is called The Loneliest, and it's written for my hero, Thelonious Monk, and it's also written, as thematic material for the album. You lose a love and you want to, you're in a solemn place.
Yes. And before you do that, you wrote lyrics and music.
Yes.
Yes, and the same with this one that you're about to do.
This one doesn't have lyrics yet.
Oh, it's an instrumental.
Maybe it will, but the one I will play after this has lyrics.
Yes.
This one doesn't have lyrics though.
Okay.
This one is just purely instrumental. And what
Well,
I think what I'll do is I'll segue from that one into the next one.
That's fine. Absolutely. We are ready.
Okay. So these two pieces are called The Loneliest and The Feeling of Romance, otherwise known as I've Lost My Mind.
Okay.
Call it schizophrenia, paranoia, and dementia. OCD, ADHD. Maybe it's a need for attention that's caused this lack of retention. And now our love's in temporary suspension. But whatever the case, the name or the face, in space and in time, I'm sure that you will find I lost my mind the day that you stole my heart. Went insane the night we drifted apart. And the love that we shared, oh, how I wish that you cared. Lost my mind the day that you set me down. Wiped my tears, and now I'm back as your clown. And you laugh all the while. I cannot smile, and now I'm to live as a memory. But remember the moment when our eyes entwined, the time that we danced till 8:45, and the feeling of romance. But sadly we had no chance, and it hurt me so when you got up to go. I lost my mind the day that you went away. Now you're gone and it seems there's nothing left to say. Oh no. And now that we're through, life must begin anew. Do you remember that moment when your eyes intertwined? The time that you danced till 8:45, and the feeling of romance. I can feel it 'cause I can feel it now.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
Russell.
Just genius. Genius.
My
So I have to ask you, Russell.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Does your music influence your words, or do your words influence your music?
I think my life influences my
Yeah,
music.
I know that for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a combination of studying great songwriters, Marvin Gaye, Duke Ellington, great lyricists, Stevie Wonder, and looking for the things in the words that we already use, commonly, and things that we may not use as commonly, and also playing on words. Cole Porter, like he's an influence because he plays on words a lot in his music. Like in a song like All of You, he'd be like, I love the look of you, the lure of you, stuff like that. How faint the change from major to minor, and the song changes.
I love that too. I love that.
Yeah,
too.
like I love that stuff because it's genius. It's like meta humor. So
Your stuff sounds like it comes together, though. I mean, like it sounds like you hear the music and the lyrics. I don't even know how you could write them separately. It just seems like it comes in a chunk.
Yeah, it's just kind of one thing. I don't really think of it separate. Sometimes I write like a melody and then I put like, I put words to it or something like that. And that's a lot of what this music I'm about to play next is kind of reflective of. Is songs that I've put together that are a presentation of the history of music and the things that we love, but also magical elements that we may take for granted, but that are part of every style of writing. Like how many songs can you name that are about the moon and when meeting somebody by moonlight, or how many songs can you name that are about somewhere distant where you and your lover can live peacefully and in harmony. So these things are, I don't take them for granted because they're very special, and they also control what we do.
That's why they've been writing about it forever.
Yeah.
Well, do us a favor and take us home with this last song, and then we will close the evening. This has been wonderful. You are wonderful. All of our composers today, we are just
What a
so
great
blessed.
show. What a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show, and Sammy and I are so grateful to all of you for coming together. I will say with all three of you on Zoom today that what we'd like to continue is after 3 months or so to bring everybody back for a special reunion show. So we did that with our first few months guests, and the reunion show was amazing. So if any of you guys want to see that, you can go to our Composers Cafe Facebook page. We did that live, and we featured 9 composers just this last month. So if you want to check, please do. But we'll be calling on all three of you in the next couple of months to come back for a reunion show if you're okay with that.
And everyone, don't forget to follow us on Eventbrite and on our Facebook page so you can see when our next event will be.
Yes, and it's good that we're doing this because the last thing I wanted to say is if there are any composers out there, we do have the next month already booked with composers, but if you're interested and you're a songwriter, or if any of you know composers that are interested in being featured, you can email Sammy and myself at therealcomposerscafe@gmail.com. Therealcomposerscafe@gmail.com. So thank you guys so much. Russell, please give us your next song.
Thank you. This is going to be like a quick medley of like different songs that are going to be on the next album.
Okay.
That's Rainbow Kids. There you go.
Need some eyes. I need some eyes.
can see that you're not very far from the star where you are. Dance, dance with me, I can see that you're not very far from the star where you are. Dancer. We're living in a world of material things. Living in a world full of freaks and fiends. Oh yeah. And all that is black will turn into green. 'Cause we're living in a world of material things. If you're a complex man that nobody understands, it's God's plan for you. If you're a complicated lady and the whole world is driving you crazy, don't be mad, be glad. Never sad. When we're making love, it feels like magic. When we're making love, it feels like magic, baby. From above is your love. I went down in the water, and what did I see? A crazy little puffer fish was staring up at me. Things were fine and mellow in the blue and the yellow of the deep blue sea. As I'm a preacher, here to teach you about the creatures great and small. 'Cause we're here to teach you all about the creatures so big, so great and small.
Amazing, Russell. Absolutely amazing.
Beautiful.
Truly
That was
enjoyed that.
fantastic. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you,
And
all you composers, for being here with us today. Sue, I got to look at how your name is spelled. Sue Maskaleris and Mr. Scott Urban. Thank you all, and Russell Hall. It's been such a pleasure.
you guys are
Such a
amazing.
great afternoon.
And we don't, yeah, absolutely. Give them a hand. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say a huge thank you to Sonia Oyola.
Oh, our Zoom mistress, of
Produce
course.
this show tonight. Thank you so much, Sonia. We love you so much for helping. And again,
Thank you.
Sammy and
Thank
I
you,
are
Sonia.
thrilled. We love you guys. We are finished 4 minutes before our ending time. So this is a victory for us, Sammy.
I know.
This
And
is
thank you, Lynn
wonderful.
Colbert-Jones. This has been so fun today.
Thank you
to
so
present
much.
this
And
program.
thank you, Sammy. I'm glad that we are doing this project together. We love this, and we look forward to doing this many, many, many more times. Thank you so much for being here. We love you all, and we will see you next month on Composers Cafe.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Wow. That was nice.